G'day everyone, Goober here with another Torchlight Infinite Season SS8 video. I'll show the gameplay at the start again like I did in the last video. This is a Time Mark 7 showcase and this is the Space-Time Yuga, also known as Mind Control Youga2. Now, this is the style of gameplay. Obviously, next season there will be changes to the passives and talents and stuff like that. However, it is very safe for a build that applies a dot and then reaps the damage. There is changes to erosion and stuff next season. However, the core concept shouldn't change too much. And this will be the gameplay that you would expect on a mind control character like Yuga2. Basically, you're applying damage and then it is reaping that damage from multiple sources and basically just one-shotting a lot of the trash monsters. This is a non-juiced Time Mark 7 map. The damage on the boss isn't great. It's not great on bossing. It is helped a little bit by the Mind Control Concentrate ability, which is additional damage for this skill for every link less than maximum links. And this is from Frozen Canvas, so you won't have this early on, but it's only really beneficial for the boss. The mapping experience will be pretty much the same as you just saw. So the main ability is Mind Control with Grudge, Control Spell, Passivation, and Guard. I do have a couple of Soul Candles there. Basically just max channel stacks on that one. And this one does have Cataclysm. Maybe just another +1 max channel stacks on the second Soul Candle, at least for day 1 or 2. Starstalker is a damage buff. Mana Boil is a permanent buff and it drains a little bit of mana, but it's negated pretty easily. Another buff there. Corruption with a Terrain of Malice, so it's always around you. You're running around, you're basically a laser turret anyway. And Blink if you want to blink around. Magical Source counters the Mana Boil quite nicely, and then Erosion Enhancement for extra erosion damage. Obviously, if you have more energy than I have, then you'll be able to put in more supports, which I will show in a little bit. Now, in the last video, people said that, you know, I had 30k worth of gear. So in this one, I spent 100 FE on gear from the auction house. Obviously, those prices are inflated because it is the end of the season and no one's playing anymore. But basically, you want to get 2 Traceless Pains. This gives you 2 sources of Reap. You want to get King's Boon. This gives you a source of Reap. And Twilight Vestment. When reaping, Energy Shield starts charging immediately. This is phenomenal for survivability. And then on your other pieces, what you want is Energy Shield, any sources of Reap that you can get, erosion damage, and that sort of thing. Weapons, really good starters are Oversight. They just give you a bunch of spell skill levels and area effect and movement speed. You will want a bit of extra movement speed because channel skills in the next season have a minus 30% movement speed. So instead of running this fast, you'll run 30% slower. I think it'll still be a really, really nice, easy league starter nonetheless. Let's go over the talent points. We just have God of Deception here with damage. You do gain a bunch of movement speed on your tree, so that will counter the 30% a little bit. Energy Shield, Affliction Effect, Reap, and Persistent skill level. Down here, more dot damage and damage applied to life. Up here we have excuse me, additional dot effect and Forbidden Power for extra erosion damage. If you are not surviving too much, you can change that to Blur and chuck Blur on your build instead. Up here we have Affliction And Reap Purification removes all dots and additionally settles 25% of all remaining total damage when reaping, which is really nice for exploding enemies quickly. We have dot damage, skill effect duration. This affects all sorts of things. Extra damage, damage to enemies under crowd control effects, damage against cursed enemies. We do have Terrain of Malice, so that's everything on the screen basically. Reap cooldown, recovery speed. I think that is getting changed for the better next season. Affliction effect is really, really good. Extra damage and additional damage to cursed enemies. Onto Elementalist. I have just removed this from min channel stacks, which you would want to go with early on. This all changes once you are able to farm and get some currency going and switch to off the beaten track, which I'll showcase in a second. We have damage for channeled skills, max energy shield. Then you skip most of this over to energy shield regain, elemental res, etc. Bit of survivability, bit of intelligence, channeled. Everything's about channeled, max channel stacks, and additional damage there. As I said before, you would just go min channeled stacks, so you boost your damage faster with how Mind Control and Yuga works. Onto the hero traits. I wasn't using any in that showcase for the Time Mark 7 map. You would obviously go with your hero traits as you went through the campaign. This just shows how strong Youga2 is early game. It may peter off a little bit late game, but as a league starter, it is absolutely insane. Even with the 30% movement speed nerf. Onto the slates, and you'll see that my slates are extremely good. I'm not using any except for +1 max channel stacks, and I don't think that's doing anything either. No. So that's just basically +1 max channel stacks. You would go with max channel stacks, affliction effect, dot damage, that sort of thing on your slates early on. And then once you are farming Time Mark 7, which I just showcased is very easy on Yuga. Doing this trial actually makes me want to start Yuga, but I will start Boom Moto as I normally do. Then obviously you can go to the hero rankings and see who is topping your class in the first couple of days. You just select Youga2 here. Unfortunately, you can't view these ones, but the guy in third has a good build to follow. Obviously, this gear at the end of the season is phenomenal, but it gives you a good idea of what to go for on your pieces of gear. So you want all sorts of reap, extra skill levels, reap cooldown, recovery speed, erosion, and affliction effect. There is a couple of defensive ways to go. You can go with converts physical damage to cold damage. On gloves, you can also get corrosion damage is taken as elemental damage, and you can get 100% on your gloves, so you no longer have to worry about erosion resistance at all, which would be quite cool. And then you could also get the 40% physical to cold here. So cold is taking basically all of your erosion damage and 40% of your physical damage. The build setup is a little bit different here. Onto, or that's the same. Psychic goes through, and that's the same. And then the difference is Warlock for off the beaten track instead of the min channeled stacks. And that is changed a little bit next season with +1 all skills and 10% sealed mana compensation, and off the beaten track remains the same. Control spell, grudge. Let's look at their skills really quickly. Mind control with entice. Inflicts a random crowd control effect, except knock back, prioritizing effects that have not been inflicted recently. every 0.5 seconds, quite nice, and additional damage. Mana Boil still, Blink still. Shackles of Malice is really nice. That shoots through walls and stuff, so you are dealing a lot of damage as you just run around. And Secret Origin Unleash with a bunch of, or 2 damage auras and 2 defensive auras. And that's all the gear. Excuse me. So early on, it does pretty reasonable damage on the dummy. This is slightly inflated because of my talent points and stuff. You won't have this much damage, but if you're doing anywhere between 2 and 5 million DPS, you should be able to farm quite comfortably. And yeah, you'll be able to scale your build quite nicely from there. So hopefully this is a good league start video, showcasing how strong Youga2 is with very minimal investment into your character. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.